our good friend Rob Carter, who deserves enormous thanks for what we're here to do today, has shucked the MC duties onto me. So he's hiding somewhere, but his name will be mentioned probably more than once and deserves to be. I want to thank everyone for coming here to a moment that some of us, I'll speak for myself at least, have really been looking forward to now for several months. We want to talk to you and to our fellow citizens about what we believe will be a wonderful new initiative for the state of Indiana and for causes dear to people here and outside our state. What we're here to announce is as follows: that following a period when not noticed by most people, we have been setting records in Indiana with the indispensable help of great partners like the Nature Conservancy and Ducks Unlimited. We have been conserving and protecting wetlands and other wildlife preserves and habitats at a record rate. But we've been doing it episodically and typically in reasonably small increments, each very, very important, but not necessarily noticeable to the general public, to any except those very close to this cause. A few months ago, I asked Rob Carter and his team, noting that we had a significant amount of state money in funds dedicated and held in trust for this all-important purpose, noting that there seemed to be remarkable opportunities to leverage those funds with the help of private sector partners and the federal government. I asked them whether it would make sense to look for a huge leap forward, a major project or two that might create something of lasting and large importance here in our state and make a statement that no one anywhere is more determined to protect the natural beauty that was their inheritance than we Hoosiers are. I told them, Carter, if that's a stupid idea, that's an acceptable answer to this question. But after conferring with our partners, he came back and said, no, in fact, that many people believe this would be a good idea, and we've come up with a specific notion for you. And this idea has been tested and vetted with the folks I've mentioned, with John Goss and the Wildlife Federation and many other people, to the point where I'm satisfied that it does make eminent sense and it'll be a great investment. And so what we're here to say is that over the next few years, and I hope it's very few, I hope we'll move fast as we like to do on anything of value, that the Wabash River, this part of the Wabash River, 94 miles of it, will be one continuous wildlife habitat, one of the largest in the eastern United States. And I hope a magnificent... Probably everyone here is more expert than I at both the ways and the means of doing this, but please, when we're done, ask those experts, and I hope they'll convey a sense of their own excitement about what this is destined to be. I will just say that those who helped us after decades to complete the Goose Pond project at 7,000 acres, the remarkable overachievement so far in terms of its attraction of migratory birds, and in every way more than fulfilling the promise that its proponents had, we have every reason to think this could be the same. We don't know how special this could be. I look forward to be a great tourist attraction initially for two-winged tourists, but then inevitably behind them some two-legged tourists. And Indiana really stepping forward among the states in terms of our commitment, our reputation as people determined to be good stewards of God's creation. So that's what we're here to say. We would not be taking this step if it had not met with the approval and had the input and the shaping of the two organizations that I'm about to introduce, as well as others who are going to be part of it. So if I may, let me ask Mary McConnell, the longtime leader of the Nature Conservancy, partner in dozens, hundreds of projects with the state over many, many years to say a few words about this corridor and what it might mean. Mary?
Thank you. Governor Daniels, thank you. You know, a few weeks ago, I get a phone call from Rob Carter, the director of the Department of Natural Resources, and he says, Mary, can you meet me in the governor's office next Monday at 3 o'clock? And I can't tell you what we're going to talk about, but can you be there? And I'm going, let me think about that quickly. And so it was me, it was Bob Hoffman from Ducks Unlimited, and it was about 20 other conservation partners from around the state, where Governor Daniels and Director Carter unveiled this vision for the Wabash River. And they say, so what do you think? Is this a good idea? And I got to tell you, everybody at the table, our jaws were all hanging down. And it was like nobody could say anything. It was like, what? Could this possibly be true? And it was like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing and perhaps the most significant investment in conservation in a generation in Indiana. And it's exactly the kind of project that we should be working on as a state. You know, the Wabash corridor has long been a priority of the Nature Conservancies. It's along the river that's Indiana's river, the Wabash. It drains 2/3 of the state of Indiana. It's 475 miles long, and it's the longest undammed river east of the Mississippi. And because of that resource, it's incredibly important for a lot of different reasons. It's one of the top 10 most biologically diverse rivers in the entire country. Within its watershed, there are 151 fish and 75 freshwater mussel species. It's a major migratory route for neotropical migratory birds and waterfowl as they go back and forth up to the Great Lakes each year. We are a proud partner to be a part of this. And it's not just what we've done, it's what DU has done, but it's the local partners here that have had a vision from the very beginning. It's what you see across the river, the Wabashiki, the things that have been happening here in Terre Haute, that's been a catalyst for the work that's about to happen on either side of Terre Haute, with Terre Haute really being the keystone of what this project will be. You know, there's a lot of people locally that have done a lot of great things. You know, it's John Munchter and the Riverscape people. It's Vigo County Parks and Keith Rubel and what he's done and brought to the table. It's the Wabash River Development and Beautification Inc. with Max Miller and what he's brought and his enthusiasm to the table. It's the Indiana Department of Natural Resources and the vision that they've had and what can happen when everyone works together. It's all the partners that banded together in a grant funded through the North American Wetlands Conservation Act that Ducks Unlimited is administering, that's adding land to restoration. And it's the work of the Natural Resources Conservation Service, these local guys that have worked up and down this river tirelessly, promoting best management practices, the enrollment of WRP up and down this river. Those guys have worked tirelessly. And in the middle and the lower stretches of the Wabash, 34,000 acres has been enrolled in WRP. It's really remarkable. So this is exactly the kind of investment. Big picture thinking, exciting. When Governor Daniels first unveiled this, I wanted to kiss him. and I might still.
I'm available.
You know, if you can't tell my excitement. Yeah, Bob's next. Bob's next. but this is the most exciting thing to happen for conservation. We are proud to be a partner in it. I know all of you are proud because everybody that's here has had some role in playing a part and will continue to. So as this project unfolds and goes forward, I just want to thank everybody for the vision, the big picture thinking. Governor Daniels, this would not have happened without you, so thank you so much. And Bob Hoffman, Regional Director of Ducks Unlimited, I think has a few things.
I just want you to know I draw the line on certain activities that I can be involved in.
Don't try anything.
Before I read a statement from Ducks Unlimited, I just want to say and let everybody know that maybe doesn't realize the significance of this type of an acquisition program that will protect these properties in perpetuity. This is unprecedented for a state to be developing a corridor like this with this many acres to be protecting land at in this environment and this climate that we're in. That it is really an amazing initiative that's being developed here, and you should all be very proud of really what's going on here. On behalf of Ducks Unlimited and our 12,000 members of Ducks Unlimited in the state of Indiana, we applaud Governor Daniels for his plan to conserve over 43,000 acres of wetlands in the Wabash River watershed. This initiative will not only greatly enhance the biodiversity of wildlife dependent on wetlands, it will also pay huge dividends now and in the future. Recent surveys indicate that the biggest impediment in outdoor recreation is the lack of access. And your venture will add tremendously to the lands available to not only outdoor Hoosiers, but to many tourists visiting the great state. More land available translates into more visitors, more trips, and a bigger boost to the region's economy. And Ducks Unlimited is excited about the additional 43,000 acres of wetlands and waterfowl habitat that this venture will protect, and again, in perpetuity. Not only will this effort add to Ducks Unlimited's goal for the region, but it will also contribute to the waterfowl habitat needs identified in the North American Waterfowl Management Plan, which is signed by Canada, United States, and Mexico. You know, ducks, geese, and swans that migrate from the Arctic and Canada down through the United States to Mexico will find more and better habitat in Indiana during the spring and fall. Coupled with a recent acquisition of the Goose Pond Wildlife Area, it will change local migration patterns of waterfowl in this portion of the Mississippi Flyway, making this effort a contribution to all of North America and its migratory birds. For the waterfowl enthusiasts of Indiana, this is fantastic news. And thank you, Governor Daniels. And be assured that Ducks Unlimited pledges that we, as partners with you in the Indiana DNR and all the other many partners that were already mentioned, that Mary mentioned, will make this effort even bigger. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. So again, thanks to everyone for coming. I hope everyone sees today, as certainly we do, as the beginning of a big assignment. Anything really worth doing, we always feel is worth doing as fast as possible, and that'll be our goal, to make this real and as fast as it can practically be done. And now it's been our thought now for several years that it didn't matter what it was, economic growth, education, road building, Indiana ought to, if it's something's really important, we ought to do it well, and we ought to think big, and we ought to be known for things, and I just think this is going to fit into that pattern. One of the most important ways a state could be known. You know, what would you be prouder to be known for than to have been good stewards and to have enlarged the area as we now intend to, in which forever nature will be able to flourish, and we will be able to enjoy it appropriately. Tomorrow there's actually a second announcement, not so big, but by itself enormously important in another part of the state. But we thought we ought to start here. I liked what Mary said. I mean, the Wabash unites Indiana, if anything does. Runs all the way across.
That's right.
So many of our great communities grew up around it, along it, I should say. It's in our state song. I mean, this is our river, and I want to thank again all those private and public sector folks who came together on this plan to do something that I hope generations of Hoosiers will look back and be grateful for and enjoy. So thank you all, and now let's get to making this thing happen. Thanks for coming.